Hello to all astrology lovers. Today, we are discussing the upcoming new moon in the sign of the zodiac Scorpio. It will take place on November 1st at 1446. Our time in 9 to 10 degrees of the sign. In general, before we examine the features of this full moon, let's discuss what this astrological event is and how it manifests in our lives. Firstly, the new moon is an astrological event when the moon and the sun align in the same zodiac sign, appearing at the same point in the sky from the perspective of an observer on Earth. At this moment, the moon is positioned between the Earth and the sun. Its illuminated side is not visible, and it appears to be disappearing. The new moon always opens up. A new cycle lasts 29.5 days, and in general, the new moon activates energies in our lives that are related to the beginning of everything new. This means it is a time for launches, planning, and manifesting our desires and intentions. The energies of the new moon are considered the beginning and symbol of new beginnings, new desires and plans. It is like a blank slate. This is a time when we can make any wishes and build plans. Moreover, the new moon strongly focuses us on our intuition. It creates a deep inner focus because it is during the new moon that the sun and moon align. This aspect always brings us events, but I also call it a kind of bridge when our consciousness connects with our subconscious. We are receiving a completely new volume of information that will manifest for us in the next period, which will mark a specific new moon. Naturally, the characteristics of the new moon's manifestation and its energy depend on the specific zodiac sign in which it occurs, as well as in which house of the horoscope this astrological event is realized. Here we can already look at our individual natal charts and understand which area of life the new moon will specifically activate in the next 5 to 6 months. In addition, I believe that the new moon is essentially a monthly reboot of our lives, when we can start something anew, restart something, or basically launch or begin from scratch. And it is important to consider that the moon is a manifestation of our psyche, our subconscious. Therefore, it is very important here. During this period, pay attention to your inner voice. Let's look at the specific features of this new moon. It occurs in our zodiac sign, Scorpio. What does this mean for each of us in general? The new moon in Scorpio is a period that will be filled with very deep transformations, deep emotional ones. Our rebirth is symbolically linked to the 8th house, which is the house of Scorpio, representing personal changes and transformation. In astrology, it is primarily associated with spirituality, themes of death and rebirth, and personal transformations. The 8th house also relates to resources, intimate relationships, closeness, and esotericism. For those who find it relevant, the 8th house opens certain opportunities. It is a house of trust, where we encounter very deep psychological and emotional processes that always lead us to personal rebirth. It is important to note that this new moon in Scorpio opens a period for us until May 12, 2025. The waxing moon lasts until November 15, 2024, and we have 2 weeks to manifest our intentions, plan something new, launch new projects, and set new goals and tasks. We are also looking specifically at which area of the horoscope this event will occur for each of you. And now let's take a closer look at what energies this new moon in Scorpio activates, what themes it raises, and what life situations it can generally create. First of all, I would like to remind you that this is a theme of transformation and rebirth. It is a process of destroying the old in order to make room for the creation of the new. And here, This new moon can renew perspectives and let go of what no longer serves us. This is about courage, about the depth of emotions, about sensuality, about intuition. These are all the energies of Scorpio that we will bring to the surface during the action of this new moon. And the main themes that will be activated are, of course, personal emotional boundaries, especially in relationships. This is a topic, working with the shadow side of our personality. This is about inner fears, hidden motives, and some concealed emotions. It is during this new moon that we have the opportunity to rid ourselves of toxic connections and relationships, restore the balance of important, meaningful relationships, or renew them. In addition, the themes of control and ownership of resources, financial matters, shared resources, debt obligations, financial stability, and security will come to the forefront. For many of us, this new moon will encourage a reevaluation of these areas of our lives. When it comes to possible life situations, there are scenarios related to relationships and the expression of emotions within those relationships. These are themes of some hidden grievances, themes of unresolved issues with close people in relationships. This is a very suitable period for sincere conversations, either about the topic of separation or about the topic of renewing relationships. This is a great time to reassess your financial approach to life. It is also a good time to focus on personal projects and your career. The 8th house also relates to entrepreneurship and investments. Therefore, it is a good period, especially for launching these aspects of life. The new moon in Scorpio occurs at 9 to 10 degrees. Of course, there is also a certain symbolism here, the symbolism of deep personal transformation. Here, what will be important for us is the revelation of the hidden aspects of our soul and our striving to understand the mysteries of life. Speaking of the symbolism of degrees, according to the Sabian symbols, the 9th degree in Scorpio demonstrates to us a picture of how a dentist works, a picture that emphasizes the importance of elimination of what may disrupt our inner or outer harmony, means a degree of freeing ourselves from discomfort, from painful situations and habits that hinder our spiritual or emotional growth. It symbolizes purification and the opportunity to strengthen our personal core. Speaking of the 10th degree of Scorpio, this degree shows us a symbol depicting deep-sea divers who collect pearls. Here the emphasis is on diving into our subconscious in search of the wisdom, pearls that are hidden beneath the surface. This symbol inspires us to explore the depths of our psyche, to be ready to take risks for valuable outcomes, and to achieve awareness through inner exploration. In summary, if we consider the energy of the new moon in these degrees of Scorpio, we can understand that the focus is on attaining entirely new levels of understanding through emotional and spiritual cleansing, through the search for valuable experiences deep within our subconscious. That is, this period is very strongly synchronized with the 8th house, and this cycle encourages one to free themselves from some old discomfort and from some pains, some fears, grudges. This is a period when we can intuitively discover some of our hidden talents and inner gifts that were previously inaccessible to us, and apply them to renew ourselves and move forward in life. And if we talk about the ruler of this new moon, this time there are two, the planet Pluto and the co-ruler Mars. This creates a very curious twist for this new moon because at the moment of the exact conjunction of the moon and the sun, These two planets are in an opposition aspect. Pluto has been direct since October and is still in Capricorn, while Mars is located in the sign of Cancer and is also in the last degrees, just like Pluto. Be sure to pay attention to which houses of the horoscope these two planets are located in for you. It is important to note that if these planets do not create an opposition in your personal chart, do not attribute the aspect to yourself. So, to begin with, what do we have with Pluto in the last degrees of the sign of Capricorn? Here, it symbolizes the 29-30 degrees of Capricorn, representing the culmination of a very long cycle of profound transformations in the structures and foundations of our lives. Pluto in the final degrees of Capricorn carries a very powerful energy of completion and transformation, especially regarding issues of power and control. This concerns stable systems, both in society and in the personal lives of each of us. This degree is associated with the farewell to outdated structures and views that require a very strong and radical renewal. Here, we experience a release from these old forms, creating space for a new approach to life and for transformation. Pluto in this position intensifies the new moon, focusing our attention on the necessity of implementing these deep changes, particularly regarding issues of responsibility, discipline, and social roles. And of course, a very wise and sober approach to these changes is needed here. Speaking of the second co-ruler, Mars, which is also located at 29 to 30 degrees in the sign of Cancer, the focus here is on very strong emotional drives and the culmination of our internal conflicts related to themes of family security, relationships, and emotional attachments. Here, Mars in Cancer completes a cycle related specifically to the protection of personal boundaries and the need to safeguard oneself and loved ones. And this, of course, is accompanied by a very strong sense of vulnerability, such emotional tension. Of course, these degrees strengthen the determination to protect one's values and emotional boundaries, but they also require letting go of some outdated forms of dependency or excessive caution in our lives. Mars in this position emphasizes the importance of finding a balance between actively protecting one's boundaries and values and the needs of those around, especially in the context of family and close relationships. Considering that this is an opposition, it is the opposition of the two rulers of this new moon. And of course, the aspect creates a very powerful such energies of tension between the desire for control and stability and our emotional needs, our defensive reactions. That is, it is an aspect of such deep internal and external struggle, where each of us has to confront a conflicting situation related to duty and emotional attachment between social demands and personal needs. The energy of opposition activates hidden fears, forcing us to address issues of power and control. And this can manifest in work, in relationships, in family, in marriage, and in business relationships, absolutely in any sphere. Of course, the opposition activates key themes such as the theme of control over vulnerability, the theme of very intense emotions and tension. And speaking of situations, conflicts will arise in relationships, especially related to family and work, where completely different needs and expectations clash. For example, professional ambitions and the need to maintain some emotional connection with close people. There will be situations related to the test of endurance and maturity will create situations for transforming our personal boundaries, and the opposition will prompt each of us to reconsider our personal boundaries in relationships. It is important to prioritize our personal needs and not to suppress ourselves due to external obligations or circumstances. Now, let's consider the aspects that work in the background during this new moon in Scorpio. Of course, the opposition of Pluto and Mars will complement this, and another aspect is the relationship between the two karmic nodes, the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra at 7 degrees. This aspect emphasizes the energetic transition from seeking harmony and dependence on the opinions of others to the theme of self-assertion and initiative. The aspect creates conditions where we are forced to seek a balance between comfort and the necessity to act independently, following our own desires and goals. The South Node in Libra symbolizes our past habits and behavioral patterns related to yielding, striving for compromise, and focusing on partnership. The North Node in Aries requires the development of individuality, confidence, and decisiveness. The main themes of this aspect are, of course, dependence and independence, the theme of initiative and personal power, as well as the possible situations that will arise for each individual. Of course, this involves various challenges in relationships. The theme of career and personal growth through active actions related to the North Node in Aries. This theme is about achieving inner balance when we need to overcome some dependency on others' opinions and the desire to be good for everyone, alongside our personal need for self-expression. In Aries, we strive to put ourselves first. It is also worth paying attention to two oppositions: Venus in Sagittarius and retrograde Jupiter in Gemini, as well as Mercury in Scorpio and retrograde Uranus in Taurus. The Venus-Jupiter aspect gives us energetic tension between our thirst for freedom in relationships and our philosophical views, along with the theme of revising beliefs that can be either very superficial or unreliable. Here, retrograde Jupiter is at work. Venus in Sagittarius strives for a broad outlook, openness, and inspiration, and this can manifest in the search for different experiences and romantic opportunities. Retrograde Jupiter here emphasizes the need to return to the roots, to explore the roots of a situation or problem, to examine the details, and to rethink existing views and approaches. And of course, the aspect gives us conflict, an inner conflict, especially in the themes of love and finances. And here, of course, there may be some impulsiveness and a certain lightness due to Venus, but retrograde Jupiter, of course, brings us back to reevaluating personal values and priorities. Another aspect is Mercury and retrograde Uranus, where there is a clash of intense, deep thinking through Mercury and the desire for breakthroughs and unconventional thinking. And since Mercury is in Scorpio, it tends to be very detail-oriented in its analysis, almost like in Virgo, but even deeper based on an intuitive perception. And here, there, is a very strong desire to uncover some hidden true motives, especially in situations that are very superficial. Retrograde Uranus in Taurus is certainly pulling us towards super radical changes through some unexpected insights, and these themes may relate to our material stability and established habits. This is because Uranus in Taurus creates opposition, leading to sudden insights, or situations where information surfaces very unexpectedly, prompting us to reconsider old beliefs or previously made decisions. This all manifests in communications and conflicts related to Mercury. And, of course, it is important to be very flexible and ready to embrace these changes here and now in order to make completely new decisions. However, during the new moon in Scorpio, harmonious aspects are also at play. The most important of these are the trines. Trine is not a tunnel. Regarding Mercury and Mars, they are organizing a large trine in the sky, a big triangle that provides a very powerful combination of energies activating our intuition and fostering deep emotional interactions among those around us. I would like to remind you that retrograde Neptune in Pisces directs our attention to the theme of the inner world, intuition, creative self-expression, and our feelings of ideals. Mercury in Scorpio enhances our analytical abilities, allowing us to penetrate the essence of things and find hidden meanings in any communication, while Mars in Cancer emphasizes the theme of protecting our values, emotions, and boundaries. This combination of energies contributes to the formation of situations where intuition and empathy become very important tools in all types of relationships. Additionally, creative solutions to problems related to our emotions can be found here, and inspiration in art can manifest strongly in various forms of creativity. Conflicts can also be resolved by using these energies very gently. Furthermore, we continue to work with the three without their style, which we discussed earlier in other videos. They provide us with very powerful supportive energies to help us navigate these transformations more easily. It is also important to note that the Sun, at the time of the new moon, which represents our consciousness, is in a trine with the planet of karma, retrograde Saturn, in Pisces. And the trine gives us a very harmonious connection between our personal transformations and discipline. According to Saturn, the Sun in Scorpio will guide us towards self-discovery, our emotional experiences, and the desire for transformation, while the retrograde will focus on rethinking our duties, responsibilities, boundaries, and analyzing past experiences to find completely new, mature approaches to our goals and life situations. Therefore, the trine is very supportive, activating our personal power, but with structural support from Saturn. The moon is also in this aspect in relation to Saturn, but here the influence occurs at the level of the subconscious, affecting our psyche. Thus, the energies of this aspect can be very well utilized to our advantage. Now let's consider the new moon in Scorpio separately for each of the 12 zodiac signs. Dear Taurus, the new moon in Scorpio is in your 7th house of the horoscope and activates themes of all relationships, partnership, alliances, and shared resources. This is a time when you will be focused on transformations in personal and business relationships, deepening the connection between partners and rethinking interactions in general, any interactions. The 7th house shows us any relationships with the surrounding world. The energy of Scorpio will encourage you to explore some emotional depths in your relationships, your needs, your desires, and to uncover hidden aspects of partnerships and marital relationships that require attention. The new moon may create situations for you to rethink your relationships, which could be related to existing relationships, new relationships, or the ending of some old toxic relationships. This is a time for candid conversations with partners. The theme of your intimate and emotional discoveries in marital, personal, or romantic relationships comes to the forefront. This text raises topics related to the financial aspects of partnerships, business ventures, or client partnerships. Here, by the way, there will be opportunities to establish a completely new network of acquaintances, either for personal life or for business partnerships. That is, it's a great time to meet new people and expand your social network. To work with the energies of this new moon, make sure to engage in open communication and practice self-reflection in your free time. You can work with a psychologist or a coach specifically on your relationship topics. You can also engage in energy practices. It is also important to consider that Pluto, the opposition of Pluto and Mars, affect your 9th, cons, and 3rd houses, and here there may arise a tension between your intellectual aspirations and your emotional needs regarding the themes of these houses. There may be conflicts between your personal beliefs and the beliefs of those around you. The theme of information exchange can especially manifest in relationships with siblings and close people. The 3rd house highlights this theme, while the 9th house may involve foreign contacts. There can be various discussions and intense debates with a lot of information exchange. Your personal interests will clash with, so to speak, global interests according to the 9th house. This is basically everything related to the world and the topics of long-distance travel, education, and self-development. This will activate these houses, and there will be an opposition, an aspect of confrontation, so to speak. But we take into account that through the North Node we protect our personal boundaries. We assert our individuality. So the choice is yours. I wish you success. Subscribe, like, share this video, and see you later.